welcome back. So today's lesson is Look for the Rainbow. I love the story of Noah and the ark, and I learned something a little different this time when I was studying it. And so I'm going to start in Genesis 6, 5 through 8. And it says, And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And it repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping thing and the fowls of the air, for it repenteth me that I have made them. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. And it says that it repented the Lord that he had made man, and it grieved him what they had become. You know, the sin had just taken over, and it grieved him to see all that was going on, all that was happening. And, you know, when I see that, it makes me wonder, you know, if he was so grieved then, what must he feel now? You know, we see what all that is going on in our world around us, and how much more is he grieved now with what he sees that's going on around us. And then it says, but Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. You know, God looked at Noah and said, he's different. And, you know, when I think about that, I think, you know, when God looks at us, he needs to think, well, she's different, or he's different. You know, there's a lot going on in the world, but this person is not getting sucked into that. So God asks Noah to build an ark, and he chose to save Noah and his family, and he gave him very specific instructions on how to build this ark, how many animals to bring on the ark, and then there was the storm. The rains came, the flood waters rose, and it's destroying everything in its path. Everything was gone. And then, after the flood waters subsided and the storm was over, there was a promise. And in Genesis 9, 11 through 17, it says, And I will establish my covenant with you, neither shall all flesh be cut off any more by the waters of the flood, neither shall there any more be a flood to destroy the earth. And God said, This is a token of the covenant which I make between me and you and every living creature that is with you for perpetual generations. I do set my bow in the cloud, and it shall be for a token of a covenant between me and the earth. And it shall come to pass, when I bring a cloud over the earth, that the bow shall be seen in the cloud. And I will remember my covenant, which is between me and you and every living creature of all flesh, and the waters shall no more become a flood to destroy all flesh. And the bow shall be in the cloud, and I will look upon it, that I may remember the everlasting covenant between God and every living creature of all flesh that is upon the earth. And God said unto Noah, This is the token of the covenant which I have established between me and all flesh that is upon the earth. After the storm, there was a rainbow. And it was a promise. It was a covenant between God and every living creature of all flesh that is upon the earth. And it was a symbol of his love for his creation. It was a symbol of his love for us. And the other day, when I picked up my grandson from school, he said something that made me think about rainbows in a different way. Differently than I had really ever thought of it before. I have a sunroof in my car, and the grandkids love for it to be open so they can see the sky, the birds, they like to look out at. And as we were driving, Matthew looked up and he said, Hey, I see a rainbow. So when I had stopped the car, I looked up and I saw what he was talking about. There was a glare, the way that the sun was hitting the sunroof, and it was making a rainbow. And he said, Is that rainbow just for us to see, or can everybody see it? And I said, Well, that one's just for us to see. And I had never thought about that before. You know, is that rainbow just for us to see. There have been so many times in our lives that, we have seen rainbows that no one else can see. When you're watering the flowers or when you're washing your car, and the way the sun hits that water, it'll make a rainbow. Or sometimes you'll see an oily spot on the pavement, and the way the sun hits it, it makes a rainbow. And I never thought about all of the little rainbows that we have seen through our lifetime, and that's a rainbow just for you. It's just for you to see. It's not for everybody to see. This one's for you. And, it was just a special reminder of God's promises to us. A reminder of God's love for you, that you're special to Him, that it's a reminder to us that God is in control. And, I've never thought about that before, and, it took a 6-year-old to point out that there are rainbows just for us. And, out of the mouth of babes, when there are storms raging around in our lives and we feel those flood waters rising and we feel like we're going to drown, we need to look for the rainbow. After every storm, there is a rainbow. So whatever it is that you go through, whatever trials you face, whatever it is, those storms that are going on inside you or going on around you, look for your rainbow. I think the message of a 6-year-old is a pretty strong one, that God sends us rainbows just for us, just for me to see, just for you to see, not for everybody. This is something special just for you. So look for your rainbow. And I'll see you later. Thanks.